Setnin Radio, hosted by Mark Newbold and Louis Turfrey.
Hi Mike, how you doing, mate?
I'm fine, how are you?
Yeah, well, another week.
Another week's gone by.
Anything new?
First week of the year,
First week.
2006.
I can't believe it.
I know. What's new?
The site design.
Yes,
We've changed it.
we've changed it. Dan Beazle has come up with another cracking piece of artwork.
Yep.
And so now the side border, thanks to your design, has got a totally new look, which is rather nifty. And it's getting
Yes.
some good feedback. I think it was time that we changed it, because we'd had that other one since February last year.
Yeah, and to be honest, you know, if the Forcenet can do it once every 3 months, I'm sure we can do it once every year.
Well, that's right.
Or
And
once
it-
every 6 months even.
Well, yeah, and it's given the site a little shake up, which it always needs, because I think when we did the original design in '99, remember, I wish we'd still got copies of that.
Oh, I've got copies of it somewhere.
You've still got copies
In
of
the
that,
Darth Maul
yeah,
picture and all that lot.
yeah, you've still got copies of
I've
that.
still got copies of it
If you
somewhere.
can find a copy of that and lay it to me, I would be eternally grateful, because I want to do a little part for the site where it's like a little look through the different versions that we've had. So if you could find that, that'd be very cool.
Yeah, I shall have to have a look. In
Brilliant.
fact, I'm even sure that some of the pictures may even still be on the site.
Really,
It's, it was transferred in whole,
it was, wasn't it?
and we haven't really got rid of much of the crap, have we?
No,
Well,
actually,
that's
we
a
have.
crap
We
on
have
radio.
got rid of quite. Yeah, crap.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, we're an adult. Well, no, we're not. No, we did go through and get rid of quite a bit of the old stuff, because it was clogging things up, wasn't it?
Yeah. And did you notice that we were saying a lot this week as well?
We are saying them a lot.
Yeah.
I know,
Which means I'm going to have to go through and get rid of all the ums so we don't sound like stupid idiots again.
I wouldn't worry, because you'll have to edit that out so people know we've not edited the numbers out.
Ah. Oh well, I'm not worried. Anyway, yeah, as you say, it's been quite a while, a whole year,
Yeah.
since we've changed the design.
Yeah,
And the plan is to change it roughly every 6 months.
that's right.
So if you're listening to this, Dan, you know what to do. And any other artists that want to contribute.
There are others.
Yes.
There's Cynthia Cummins, who works on the official site. I've mentioned to her about some artwork. There is Leah Mang, who does Nerf Herders Anonymous. She's an artist. You're cheeky. She's an artist, and I'm going to approach her about doing some work as well, hopefully. As long as she's got time. She's got 2.5 months to get a load of work done, and she says her hand's about to drop off, so I don't really feel like
Is
I can
Leah
ask her at
based
the
in
moment.
the UK?
No, she's based in the States.
Oh, that's a
She's
shame.
in the States.
That's a shame.
But there is a new documentary coming out about Star Wars fandom called George and Me.
Yeah.
And there's a trailer on the internet at the moment, and Leah is actually in the trailer.
No.
She's very cool. Yeah, she's the first person that speaks. It's very cool. So it's nice to actually put a face to the name. So,
Yes.
which is good.
Yes.
So things are moving ahead there. But yeah, as far as the site goes, we've got a busy year coming up, because obviously it's 2006, so next year is the 30th anniversary. This is a bit of it's like a gap year, really. So I think last year, 2005, was all about Revenge of the Sith, obviously,
Which wasn't a bad thing.
which was a fantastic thing, and I can't believe.
It's been that long, even.
I know it.
It
You
seems to
know,
have flown past,
it
doesn't
is, and there's your copy of Sith right there on your windowsill.
Yes.
And like this time last year, we knew bits about what was going to happen. And we got our own extrapolations on plot and stuff that we thought would happen, but nothing really too deep as far as visuals and stuff. But now, there it is. You can stick it on and play it now if you wanted to. It's insane. So, but yeah, of course, we've got next year is the animated series.
Which I must admit I'm actually looking forward to.
Me too.
I had
yeah.
a bit of reservation about like using CG and stuff, but when you think about it, they've used CG all the way through the music, the movie.
Yeah.
And basically, the thing I like is, because they've used CG in the movie,
Yeah.
you already know what the quality is
I
going to
was
be
just
like.
going to
don't you?
say that, yeah. You're curious as to how they're going to... I mean, you look at the aliens, the robots, everything else, ILM quality. I mean, I would assume for an animated series, and I'm guessing that they're going to skew towards the same sort of audience that they did with Clone Wars. I'm not sure. Obviously, half-hour episodes, I would imagine. That the CG quality, it might not be movie standard, because, obviously, it's movie standard because you've got to put humans in front of it.
Yeah.
But still, and I sort of hope they go for a stylised look as well. That's why I really enjoyed the Tartakovsky stuff, the Clone Wars stuff.
Yeah, I have to say, Clone Wars 2 DVD, I think is super.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I much prefer it even to the Clone Wars 1.
Yeah.
The only one, actually, no, I rephrase that. Clone Wars 1 I loved.
Yeah.
But the thing I liked about Clone Wars 2 is that you actually saw the Jedi being Jedi.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean?
Although I think there's a few continuity snafus in the Clone Wars too, from what I can gather.
Yeah.
Apparently, yeah. I've not. Now, I'll be honest. I haven't read all the novels that lead up to Episode 3. I'm way behind with my novels because just doing the site, just haven't really had time. I'll be honest. But apparently, there's stuff that contradicts the film in there. There's stuff that contradicts, I think it's Labyrinth of Evil. There's stuff that conflicts with each other, which Lucasfilm has always had that over the years, with the whole Mandalorian back history and all the different
which is now apparently just gone.
Yeah, it's just myth, isn't it?
It's just myth, yeah.
But they were clever with that. I think they just about got away with that.
Yeah, because they made it myth rather than solid.
Yeah.
Like the old Sith histories as well.
Yeah.
And look at some of the Sith histories that are translated from the comics to the screen.
That's right.
Like the Sith War being 1,000 years previous. Well, they said it's over 1,000 years, didn't they?
Yeah.
So that
they got over where they can.
Yeah, they got over that. Said over 1,000 years since the last Sith was killed. Well, that could be anything from 1,000 to 4,000.
That's right. That's true.
So they've kept themselves going as far as that's concerned.
Sensible. But I mean, as far as we're going, we've got this year. I'm determined to get Quest for Freedom done this year, which I started in '82 and wrote in '82 and rewrote in '83 and did a full version, and then did another version in about '86 when me and John were doing the audio stuff, and we were going to record it as an audio recording, but we never got round to it because it was such a big thing. One of the main reasons was we needed a girl to play one of the characters, and we couldn't find any girls to do the voice.
That were in Star Wars and that could act.
Exactly. But that's a definite thing for this year.
Can you act?
You know me. Of course I can't.
Oh, that's buggered that up. Can I just explain? Well, the reason I say it's buggered that up is because initially, the idea is that we're going to, at some point, in the very, very near future, create a online radio with sound effects type play.
Yeah.
That we've got no ideas about at the moment. No, but we are going to do it for definite.
We are definitely going to do it.
This isn't going to take a year like it did with Setnin Radio.
No, it won't. No, that's true. No, well, now that we're doing this, I'm astounded why we didn't do it before, because it's so easy and we've got into doing it now, and both fairly relaxed doing it. So it's nice to sit down once a week and just chat about stuff, sci-fi stuff in general. That's fun, and so to do an audio drama, I think it'd be really interesting, because we've been talking about this for a long time. As far as stories go, I mean, obviously, like I say, Quest for Freedom. I've written a story this week, which is going on at the end of the month, called Caught in the Act, which is a Jan Lamona story. One that I started just before Christmas, actually. I was determined to get a story on for Christmas, for various reasons. I started this one story and I just couldn't... when you hit a wall with a story, you just can't figure out where you're going to go with it. Just couldn't figure this one out, so I just wrote about a page and thought, no, this is going nowhere, it's horrible, and I left it. Went back to a story that I started 3 years ago called The Hyphen, which is actually on the site now, which was originally, it was Jan Lamona, it was a Newbold age story. Jan Lamona sitting down with Goa Galetti's son Drake, not the clone Goa, the real Goa's son Drake, and it's Jan explaining about being a smuggler, but in a roundabout way to explain about what Goa was about. But I'd written about 4 pages, and it was just Jan talking about smuggling, and it was going nowhere. So I came back to that story, looked at it from a fresh angle, set it 10 years before, when Jan's on the other side, when he's in the corporate sector, when he's gone across the galaxy and Damon Guy's out looking for him, and it's Jan building up his contacts and his career in the corporate sector, and it's him sitting in a bar telling tall tales, which is what smugglers do, especially Jan. So it was a totally... So it went from being in italics, him just sort of babbling on, to him actually sitting there and saying it. And it's just him getting into a couple of scrapes because it's a different scenario and it's a different, situation. So that came out well, but Caught in the Act was good because it was basically like a bedroom farce.
Yes.
It's Jan being Jan.
And
it came out well, so I'm very pleased with that. So, but Quest for Freedom's the big thing for this year, for me anyway. So, what about you?
Well, I don't know. All I can say is, Mark, you're smart, Alec. You put welcoming you to the Setnin section on top of there.
I am.
You.
I did.
Crafty so-and-so.
That's me.
That's Mark learning how to use a website.
6 years of being about 7 years this year.
Yes.
7 years.
We'll make a designer out of you yet.
One day. No rush.
Yeah. I mean, I've got the Fall of Learguard
on
the go, which is it started out being initially the plan was to be a 2 or 3 page scenario, but I think it's sort of going to be turning into a 30 or 40 page.
I can see that. Yeah, definitely.
So this will be the first true short story since Sirens of Gamaga, maybe, because I think Sirens of Gamaga classes as a short story rather than a snippet, doesn't it?
Oh well,
or even a novella is the terminology.
I was going to say Sirens actually runs in at 200 pages, so Sirens is not far off being novel length. There's a couple. There's a few. I think John did, which is a Newbold Age one, which will be loading up soon. John did. What was it called now? And They Shall Have the Revenge. That was about 20 chapters. Yeah. There's been a few, and there's been some that have started, like Alongside of Hell, which I'd love to carry on at one point.
So 2006. Right, where are we going to go then? We've got the design of the site's been changed. We've got possibility of a competition. We've got all sorts of other things working through.
Yep.
What do you see 2006 meaning for Light Sail?
I'd like to. Well, first, obviously the stories that I mentioned. Obviously, I really want to keep the Setnin Select going to the quality it's at. There's a touch of the retro about it as well. Like, it's nice to sort of delve back to stuff that was being done a few years ago. So there's certainly a large piece of that that's going to continue. Because really, I was talking to Paul Squire about this not long ago, and we were talking about the site and how, you know, when I first started the timeline in, it was 97, 98, something like that. Mm-hmm. There was 3 separate timelines. There was the original NHP timeline, there was the original roleplay timeline, yeah. And then there was a second roleplay timeline. In fact, I think there was 3. I know we went through the timeline 3 times in the roleplay games. So mixing them all together and making them fit was really, really difficult, especially getting, for example, Goa's character together. When originally he was a smuggler, and then he was a half Choreothnax character, and then he was a clone, and there was all these different versions of Goa. So actually making that all fit was difficult. Now it is as it is. You forget about the old ones now. It is as it is. So to get that together is quite important. To get the Newbold Age all loaded up, that's a real big one. That will take a while because
that's in 2 parts as well.
Yeah, but it's so big.
It's the majority of the stories that we've got, isn't it?
This 50
for one particular section.
Yeah. Oh, it's the biggest era by a mile. There's 50 stories now. Once that's loaded up, there'll be a total of 223 stories on the site. Plus, I've written Caught in the Act, which is 224. You're working on Fall of Leogard, 225. So there's a lot of stories out there at the moment, and everything's good. But hopefully by March, everything will be on the site, which is where we wanted to be last year, but it was just too big a job.
Absolutely. The other thing as well is, being writers, we always like feedback on some of the stories that we've written.
Yeah.
And we do know that it's very difficult for other writers, especially ones working for Lucasfilm, LucasArts, etc., to actually do that, just in case they pick something up.
No, they can't.
So I'm going to say an open forum here. If there's anybody who ever wants to use any of our characters in any of their stories, and as long as they keep to the spirit of the characters, would be absolutely brilliant.
It would.
You know,
there was a fella a few years ago, probably turn of the century, about 2001, a fella called Andrew Dick, who wrote a couple of short stories. It was in our guest fiction section, which we don't have up at the moment, but I'm planning on putting it back up. And he did some stories set on Coruscant, and he used the original Goa Galetti. And I always remember John was really flattered by that. He loved that. And again, when we used to roleplay, sort of back in the early 90s, and Rob Holt and all those lads went down to university, and down in Dorset and Devon, I think they were in. They were role-playing games every weekend, sort of all-nighters over the weekend, and they were playing Yan and Goa and all those characters. Yeah. So it's quite cool to know that somebody else has role-played Yan apart from me, and somebody else has role-played Goa apart from John, and that sort of thing. So that's cool. So
have we included the original stats for the characters on the site? I don't think we have we?
No, there's no role-play stats of any of our characters on the site. That would be a nice addition at some point.
Because there's no reason why we can't scan those and stick them up as JPEGs, is there?
No, not at all.
Again, you know, if anybody else wants to use it, they are in D6 format, but easily convertible to the D20 format.
Yeah.
But we prefer the old D6 system, I think.
We definitely prefer D6. Biggest mistake, one of the biggest mistakes that Lucasfilm made, I personally think, was letting the West End licence fall. I don't know whether Wizards offered a load of money or what, but the D20 system, as beautiful as the books were, and they looked fantastic, and they did, and I know Jason bought the whole lot. Not that I'm an expert role player, but I thought D6 was great because it was just easy and quick and manageable, and it was a rapid system. D20 just seems clunky to me. I know it's the old D&D system,
but again, you know, the thing about D6 is it lent itself to quick battle, quick combat, which is the Star Wars thing. Which is funny enough what they've done on the galaxies.
Yeah,
you know, Star Wars galaxies. They've turned everything into quick battle, quick combat.
Yeah,
you know, again, you know, the old way of earning skills and everything was also very good, and I think they've taken away some of the interactivity there.
Yeah, they have.
There's no reason why they couldn't hybrid the two.
No.
I think they just basically got a little bit ahead of themselves.
Yeah.
I'd love to know how many people have left because of that, because I know personally speaking...
I know that quite a few left. It was on... might have been the official site. Quite a few people left, but I do know that an awful lot of people have come back. because they have picked up that it was getting really slow, wasn't it? There were some real refresh rate problems, and I know they've picked that up.
Well, mine's gone from, and I've got a decent graphics card with a fast internet connection. Mine's gone from 17 frames per second average to 35 to 40 frames per second average, which I'm not complaining about.
No.
And to be honest, as I don't spend most of my time actually fighting on the ground, it's more space combat and stuff I do.
That's what Paul said.
Yeah. And Paul actually said to me he's never seen anybody destroy as many ships in such a short time as me, which I thought was quite a compliment considering he's been playing the game for 3 years and I haven't.
Yeah. I think he puts his skill points into different things than you, doesn't he? So. But there you go.
My God. Well,
so I think that's the end of episode 8.
I think that's a good idea. Yeah. Good way to end the site. So we have meandered on. I'm afraid we've not sat on anything particular.
Well, that's fine.
But if there's anything you'd like us to discuss, and please remember that Setnin Radio is not just, primarily Star Wars. It's anything to do with Star Wars, movies, films.
That's it.
Anything that sort of like breaks into the mould. Anything you'd like us to discuss, then send us an email. If you want to be on the conversation, we can arrange it so that if necessary, we can record over a telephone. We have got that capability, haven't we?
We have.
We did that with a Peter Mayhew interview.
Yep, that's how we did it.
Which unfortunately we were not able to put on because of licensing restrictions live, but we are able to sort of record conversations. So if anybody would prefer to do that live. Okay, so here's to happy 2006 for everybody else, and we'll see you on the next issue.
That's it. Happy trails.